I just realized we're both wearing a very dark version of green. Anyways. All right, recording. Yeah.
Yep, we're good. You want to kick her off?
Oh, football fano. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Straight Shoot, a wrestling podcast, WrestleMania edition. Guys, we are 3 days from WrestleMania. Listen, 1, 2, 3. WrestleMania.
Let's go, dude. Yeah, I think you're pumped up. I can kind of tell from the energy in your voice right now. Are you ecstatic for the biggest show of the year, our Super Bowl, my man?
I'm excited to see all the Cody crybabies crying on Sunday night.
We just started. It's been 30 seconds into this thing, and you're already going at me for being Cody Crybaby. Come on, man. Come on.
That's a life choice, man. It's just like being ginger. It's a life choice.
No, that is not my choice, and I promise you I would choose anything else than that. Look at this freaking beard. Like, why would I ever choose that in my life? All right? I choose Cody. I don't choose ginger, okay?
All right, let's stop skipping right to the end of this video, but let's start off what we're going to do, guys. We're going to talk all things WrestleMania, everything leading in the build, and we are going to try and get ourselves under 30 minutes here just so we can make sure you guys don't lose interest. But first off, don't forget, guys, we are back on all audio platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everything you need to find. The link will be in the description of this video. Make sure you go give us a 5-star review, and let's push Straight Shoot back up into the numbers where it deserves to be. The last couple of videos and audios have done very well, so I really appreciate you guys, just like Khan does. But we are back on audio, so look out for all our audio content for while you're driving, maybe while you're flying on your way to Philly. Maybe you're listening to that right now. I don't know. This should be up by Friday, so make sure you guys are checking out on audio. But Khan, lead us through this WrestleMania card, because
absolutely
13 matches,
dude, it's insane. They have stacked this together. But think about this: how many years ago did we get like 13 matches on one WrestleMania card, one night, 8 hours in length? Now it's being split across 2, and it's so much better. It's just so much easier to watch and consume, and it makes me more excited for WrestleMania because it's both nights. You know, it's not just the one night. It's not like it's just Sunday night going until 1 a.m. It's both nights, and the fallout of it going into the next night and the follow-up. It's really well placed right now, and 13 matches make sense when you look at the card that we have. Like, look at everybody that is on it. There isn't a single match I think you could say that doesn't truly belong on it, except for maybe one tag match, which I'm sure we're going to get into. But even then, there's a reason as to why it's on there.
Very true.
But brother, we're going to start things off, okay? We're going to go right to a crazy ladder match that has 6 different tag teams in it. And there is a special rule with this that both tag team titles have to be pulled down. So both the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles have to be pulled down in order to be retrieved. So that means we might be getting 2 champions.
We might.
So
I truly believe that's the road that we're going down. But we recently just did, for your subathon that we had going on, my predictions first. So I want to hear your prediction on this match first, and then I will give mine.
You know what, dude? People aren't going to love this, but I do think Judgment Day retains 1 set of tag team titles. And here's why. Because I think there is such a story being built within the Judgment Day right now of dissension. And I think it's going to come with those tag team titles at one point, whether it's like Dom accidentally screwing them out of the tag titles, like in a actual matchup. But what I think is going to end up happening is, I think you're right. R-Truth is maybe going to reach up and grab the title and pull down one set, but then Judgment Day snags the other. And I know that we're like, well, where do they go and all that brand split? But I honestly believe that Judgment Day is going to retain, and they just want to get 1 set of tag titles off of them. They don't like them having both, but they like what they have with the faction. They like what they have with the dynamic. So I'm saying Judgment Day, and I'm saying Awesome Truth are walking out as tag team champions.
I'm on a completely different mindset, but I'm thinking the same thing with you, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I'll give you my predictions first. And my prediction is R-Truth grabs the Raw titles and Awesome Truth wins the Raw titles. And then A-Town Down Under gets the SmackDown titles. Okay.
All right.
Those are my predictions for that match. The reasoning for those predictions, though, is because WrestleMania is going to be the implosion of the Judgment Day.
Okay. All right.
The Judgment Day is going to lose everything.
All right. So Money in the Bank gone?
And again,
we'll talk about it, but
let's get into that segment in a minute.
Yep.
But I believe this is going to be the fall of the Judgment Day.
Interesting. Not the rise, the fall of the Judgment Day. I like it. We'll see. There is another match that has been announced. I mean, there's a lot of other matches that have been announced, but it is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Karrion Kross in their version of a faction warfare. This is going to be chaotic. It's just straight up going to be chaotic. But honestly, I think that there's two different ways we could look at this match. You can either look at it as Bobby Lashley getting a tip of the cap for not being on the WrestleMania card last year, or you can look at this as a way of building up a new faction that desperately needs some momentum. And I'm going to go with the desperately needs some momentum. I'm going to say Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain need to win this one. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits are going to be fine if they lose, especially in like a 6-man match like that where Bobby doesn't need to be pinned, right? They could pin Angelo, they could pin Montez, either or. They could pin Bobby if they really want to get crossover. They could do that. But my official pick is Kross and Authors of Pain.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Final Testament as well. There's too many dynamics where it's going to hurt the Final Testament in the short form and the long form if they don't win this match. They have failed miserably with Karrion Kross for his second run. They failed badly on the first run. The second run's been just as bad, and Karrion Kross deserves to have a phenomenal run.
Well, let's say it's not just as bad. The guy came out with that mask and the suspect, like the look is so much better.
Wasn't his choice though.
But it wasn't his choice. But like you cannot say that this run is worse than that. That was god awful. Like whatever Vince McMahon threw on him, that was god awful. That killed his character as he came back. At least there's something here with Kross, and I think that's why we think they need some momentum, right? Because there is something with this faction. They do have a cool look, and I think if presented right, they could be very successful. But you have Kross and Authors of Pain as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's get on here to Randy Orton versus Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. You've already gave yours here. You have an idea.
Yeah.
Do you want to quickly say that one?
I'm actually going to take this one for the audio. Just Logan Paul has signed an extension to his WWE contract. This is his thing now. He said he's retired from boxing, that WWE is where his focus is, which I respect that. I've never been a fan of Logan Paul. He's great in the ring, but I'm just it's Logan Paul. Kevin Owens had his moment at WrestleMania with Sammy last year, which was incredible, and I think they deserved it. But Kevin Owens really hasn't had that good of a 2023 going into 2024 year. And then Randy Orton's returned and looks like $1 million. I cannot see Randy Orton taking a pin, but I think if Randy is to win this, there's a big feud with Kevin Owens for the summer, and Logan Paul goes and does something else. So I'm going with Randy Orton as your new United States champion.
Interesting. Not against it. Not at all against seeing Randy Orton hold on to the United States title. However, I think Randy Orton has some bigger fish to fry in the form of Cody Rhodes after WrestleMania. But my pick here for the United States Championship is, as thrilling as it would be to see Logan Paul lose at WrestleMania, and as much as I love Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, I don't see them taking the title off of Logan Paul. I mean, granted, a visual of him getting pinned on the Prime logo might be hilarious, but I don't think that's what we're getting here this year. I think, if anything, Logan Paul is going to weasel his way out of this match. Like, whether it be Owens hits the stunner on Randy, or Randy hits the RKO on Kevin Owens, and it's brass knuckles to the face of the other person because triple threat rules and steals the pin, or one lucky punch, whatever they want to do. I think he squeaks through with the win. I don't think it's a clean finish, but I do have Logan Paul retaining the United States Championship.
Do we get Jake?
You know what? That's a good shout. I'm not a fan. Last time we saw him, last time we saw him was kind of cringe in WWE. That punch was woof. But you know, I mean, it is WrestleMania. They do bring in people like that. We're probably more likely to see KSI than anything. He's already been introduced into the story.
Fair, that's true.
All right, what's next? I got Logan Paul in that one. Here is the tag team match that I was alluding to earlier on. The match that maybe doesn't feel like it's meant for WrestleMania. It is Rey and Dragon Lee versus Dom and Santos, and that's not me going into this with a negative mindset. It's just when we had the stare down between the factions, it felt like that was the bigger match. And also, Teshk, I saw your reaction. I had the same reaction, thinking Andrade was going to come out and team with Rey Mysterio, and we were going to get Andrade and Rey versus Dom and Santos, in which case that does have a story going on. There has been the Judgment Day and Andrade interacting, and then all of a sudden Andrade choosing Rey's side. That would be enough to warrant a match, but that's not what we got. We got Dragon Lee, the newest member of the LWO, going alongside of Rey Mysterio. But there's a very real possibility. The reason why this is a tag team match is because they don't think that the 5-on-5 match will work like that.
Yeah.
It could be too chaotic. The workers maybe aren't in the best position in that match for their position on the card, let's say, right? They just, if they're able to be, if let's say Joaquin Wilde's able to do his launch spot, right, at any given point during the match and just fly up that WrestleMania ramp, that works when they're not actually in the match, right? Because then all that stuff could be going on the outside, and then something could happen inside the ring. But I'm going to take a bit of a bold prediction here. Some people have been saying Carlito is starting to feel the effects of Rey Mysterio not treating him the best, and I've been noticing lately, man, the people talking about Rey, they're onto something. I was behind Rey all the way. I was like, nah, Dom's not grateful for you, bud. But I've noticed, man, Rey isn't treating his own properly. And Carlito just pushed off to the side, just like Santos Escobar was pushed off to the side for the new guy on the block. And here comes Dragon Lee, and he picks him as his tag team partner. So I say that we are going to see Dom and Santos win with a heel turn of Carlito.
Yep. I'm there you go. I agree.
I agree. All right. There you go.
Here's the thing. I need to be careful and choose my battles wisely when it comes to the wrestling community. And you guys were already aware that I was not happy that it wasn't Andrade and it was Dragon Lee. As much as I respect Dragon Lee for how good he is in the ring. But I am just going to plead the fifth on this one and say it's Dom and Santos with a Carlito heel turn.
Fair enough. And I mean, look, I'm going to just dial that back actually. There's nothing wrong with saying you were expecting something else. Cause like you weren't the only one, right? I was on stream saying, oh, Andrade's coming. No, this is not a shot at Dragon Lee. It's just the story felt like it was going to be Andrade. It's just,
I still feel Andrade's involved.
So. Okay. All right. Interesting.
I still feel Andrade is involved. And I think it has to do with Dom. I think they're building a feud with Dom.
I think you're right. I'm wondering also, man, and like this is just out of the blue here. We've noticed Dom is starting to not communicate properly with Rhea Ripley, right? And are we seeing the start of like something that happened between Eddie Guerrero and China? Could we be going down that direction? There is Elektra Lopez.
Dom's going to win the women's world title and pin.
No,
Rhea?
in the shower with some other ladies.
Oh yes, yes.
I'm wondering.
We'll see.
I'm wondering what this partnership with the Legado del Fantasma is going to do, because there is Elektra Lopez right there, and I'm wondering if there's something more developing, because there could be. But
yeah, we could see that. I think this is that will go straight through the summer. And like I said at the start, the implosion of the Judgment Day. There is a lot there. Obviously there's kind of still that thing with what's his name? Funko Pop.
JD McDonough.
Yeah, JD McDonough. But there's that Irish connection with him and Finn, and they're pretty tight. And just remember, the original two are Rhea and Priest.
That's right.
And even they have been a little at each other's throats lately.
Mm-hmm.
So those backstage segments, just so everybody realizes, put every backstage segment between the Judgment Day in order of appearance as a one-time video, and you have a full story there.
That is true. Yep, that is true. They've been telling it behind the scenes, haven't they?
Exactly. Yeah. So, the implosion of the Judgment Day, I'm still standing by this.
All right. Let's get into Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Damage Control. It is Jade Cargill's first WrestleMania match, and I feel like that's all I have to say for this.
Do we actually have to do this, or can we just say Jade Cargill's? I think we can just say
Jade Cargill's going to get the pin, and she's going to have a showcase at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
And also, you know what? Kudos, Naomi getting a spot at WrestleMania as well. Kairi Sane coming back. Like, if you look at everybody involved in this match, this is really cool for them that they're all involved with this. Dakota Kai getting involved, right? So like, it's great to see. It's great to see. But yeah, Jade Cargill absolutely walking out with the win for her team.
Let's have some fun with it for a second. Who takes the pin? Who takes the pin from Damage Control? I'm gonna say Kairi.
I was gonna say Kairi, but I think they're going Dakota. I think with everything that has happened, that's the comeuppance. Is that a word? Comeuppance?
Comeuppance, yeah.
Sure, we'll roll with it. That's how they get back at Dakota for everything that has happened. I do think this could be short-sighted booking, though. Honestly, with how they've tried to build up Damage Control, it's all of a sudden Damage Control thrown a little bit under the bus just to elevate these three. And it's no problem because Bianca, Jade, and Naomi are incredible talents and deserve a showcase at WrestleMania. It's just, I wonder if we could have gone in the direction of, like, I don't know, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and somebody else. You know what I mean? I feel like we could have still got this match, still had some heat on it, but Damage Control is a faction. They are champions and they're on the card, so I get why it's happening. Oh, Piper is hurt? Sorry, Piper is hurt. So
the one thing I do like about this, though, is there is that slight opportunity to have a involuntary or mistaken bump between Bianca and Jade.
Okay.
And Naomi having to separate them for a second, calm them down, let them finish the match.
Can they coexist?
Can they coexist? And then there's your feud.
All right. That could be good, actually. Because I think we do need to get to Jade versus Bianca eventually. Like, that has to be where we're going.
If Charlotte's not around right now, and listen, I'm just gonna go off topic just for a second. Charlotte, her physio is incredible. Like, if you've been watching her videos, her physio, she's a demon. Like, she's not human. But I watched one of her Get Ready With Me videos on TikTok the other day. And every time she pivoted to take a step, she limped heavily.
So she's nowhere near.
So she is nowhere near. So if we need to have Jade in a feud, maybe it's a rush feud with Bianca that can last a year, but it's still a feud that we all want to see.
So, like, here's the thing. You saying that out loud, I wonder if the money could very well be in Jade and Bianca as a tag team for the first little bit. I wonder if they could roll with that.
There's no money in the women's tag titles.
But they could make money. You know what I mean? If you have these two stars right here, it's almost like a Kane and Undertaker situation where you just put them together and have them run through everyone just because it's more interesting with them together than apart right now. I do wonder if that's going to be the direction because we do have them feuding with Damage Control. It would be a nice way to introduce Jade Cargill as a champion, as tag team champions, help elevate those tag belts. And maybe, somebody along the line could step up and try to take them from them. I do agree. There's not a lot of value in the tag division, but how do we add value to it? We get stars in the tag division, right?
I understand that, but I just feel if you're going to put them in the category of Kane and Undertaker trying to elevate the tag division, then what are Kairi and Asuka going to be? Kai and Tai? Like, that's all I remember from that tag run is then just Kane and Undertaker walking through Kai and Tai and treating the rest of the division like garbage. And we've come so far with the tag division with great tag teams that especially in the women's division, you've got skilled tag teams that can work together. And if you're going to do that, you're just going to bury that women's division even more.
See, I look at it a complete opposite way. I really do. I think you have to commit to stars to elevate a division in order for that division to get better. And when they are committing to Chelsea Green and Piper at the time, it was good, right? But they've let Asuka and Kairi Sane fall to the background of everything that's going on and just be essentially extra pieces in this story being told between Bailey and Io, or as Otis called her, Leo.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know what? We'll see what the future holds for the tag division. Could be a direction, could not be. I just hope to see something successful for Jade after WrestleMania, whether it be that rush match with Bianca or not.
They've invested way too much in Jade. She will be a success.
She needs to be, man. A game changer. But let's pivot here. Let's go to LA Knight versus AJ Styles. This feud has just been about playing some of the hits, you know, the home invasion, the security guard, everything about this feud is so just mid 2000s WWE, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Who do you have in this one here, man?
I have LA Knight. I don't really care who wins this because I think this feud has been a great build. And it's something that was missing with a lot of feuds last year. There was a lot of good matches at WrestleMania last year, but some of the builds just were not very good. They almost seemed rushed. This one's played out nicely. It's not been too long. It's not been too short. They've done some great segments and memorable segments. But I'm taking this away from you, Con. All I want to hear is AJ Styles to walk out to 2014, 2015 TNA's Evil Ways.
Sheesh.
And if you are not a wrestling fan, just remember, guys, I stopped watching WWE for a long time in the mid 2000s, but I did watch TNA because I think that Aces and Eights run with Bully Ray and all those guys, that needs to be like studied in university if you want to be a wrestling fan. That needs to be visualized because that was some of the best wrestling out of the 2000s. And I will say, sorry, the 2010s, but if you guys have never heard Evil Ways after you're done listening to this, go check out Evil Ways, and AJ Styles' new character that he has right now in WWE fits it perfectly.
Wouldn't that be amazing if you could take a class on pro wrestling, like at a university, if you could major in pro wrestling? Can you imagine studying matches? Oh my God. Like, oh, it would be, what a class. I would have actually graduated. Let's go into the Battle of the Brothers here. Jey Uso.
Wait, hold on. Con, do you agree with me?
Shit. Yeah.
LA Knight?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's LA Knight. Yeah, absolutely. Without a shadow of doubt. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, the Battle of the Brothers here. When you were talking about it earlier, you had an interesting take, so I'm going to save yours for a second. But look, yeet. I think Jey Uso needs to win, okay? I know that there is this possibility that we could see night one just be the destruction of the baby faces and night two be like, okay, everybody gets it back over the bloodline. It could be that way. But if it's not, I do think Jey Uso needs a big win at WrestleMania. And yes, over his brother Jimmy, who also needs a big win, might not be the best thing, but for how popular Jey Uso is, I think moving past WrestleMania, it will benefit Jey Uso more with a win over his brother as opposed to a loss, unless Solo spikes him and they get out with, like, you know, a dirty finish, in which case then I'm fine with it. But yeah, I'm going to say Jey Uso walks out with the win.
Yeah, and I'm going the complete opposite. Even though I am a diehard Jey Uso fan and I'm vibing every time he comes out, I'm dancing like Pat McAfee, I'm yeeting all over myself. I'm going with no yeets. Jimmy Uso wins this because I feel Jimmy has been like that lost puppy in the bloodline storyline. He's a joke. He's not taken seriously. It like he holds up the dab and no one respects him. I can just visualize Jimmy getting a win somehow, even if it's a dirty finish. He turns around on SmackDown, walks up to the Tribal Chief, and he goes like this. Tribal Chief dabs him up and finally respects Jimmy for putting his brother down. And it gives Jimmy finally that respect push of being like, okay, I'm a man now, or I'm a man of something. I've established myself back into the bloodline where I can actually have pull and people can take my ideas and that kind of thing. So I feel Jimmy Uso needs this more because organically Jay is hotter.
All right. That makes sense. Yeet or no yeet, chat, let us know, because we are actually live right now while recording this. We gonna move into Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I got Sami chilling in the back there. I actually brought out the green screen yesterday. I took Sami and Cody all around town. Took him to New York, took him to hell, took him everywhere. But I don't think I'm bunny rabbit. Good God Almighty, you saw that. Look, I love Sami. I really, really do. Oh my God, I would mark out so hard if he's the one to beat Gunther. I can't confidently say he's gonna. Gunther is on another level, and my brain is taking over with this one, okay? I want to believe in my heart. I am believing in my heart for the main event, which is a bit of a teaser for that, but tonight, for this one, I just have to use my brain, and it's Gunther winning this one.
Yeah, I'm on the same trajectory with you, dude. Sami, I actually think the story can extend out of WrestleMania with Sami not being able to beat Gunther, and that will drive us into maybe Paris with Backlash, which I think would be a great feud. Sami, being him, and they do have a very big Syrian background and Muslim population in France, so that could be a big selling point, that Sami's kind of like the IC title might be the main event. But that's way outside the box. But I just think Gunther holding the title through the summer, going to Bash in Berlin, I don't think you can take the title off him yet. Even though he's run for so long, I don't think you can take the title off Gunther.
Yeah, because if we look forward past here, right, what have they set up with Sami? They've set up maybe something with Gable, like if they really wanted to. So that could be good, right? And that could be one of those moments where if, say, Sami got the title off of Gunther, they could flip it over to Gable. But then you ask yourself, well, then why didn't they run Gable versus Gunther if that's the end goal, to get the title onto Gable? So, yeah, what you just said makes a lot of sense. This doesn't make sense for Sami Zayn to win now. No. And we could see Sami be elevated up the card after this. They could definitely push him up there, especially with Drew McIntyre. If he wins the world title, there's a feud there ready to go between those two. So yeah, I don't think Sami needs to win, and I'm going to say Gunther as well. We have Io Sky versus Bayley for the women's championship here. I feel like this one, I think everybody has the same answer.
This is the easiest pick of the night.
Yeah,
I don't think you can take it away from Bayley. To be fair, Io has put on some fantastic matches, but her reign has been very lackluster, if that makes sense. I think there is, off the top of my head, 4 different storylines that they can write for Bayley coming out of WrestleMania, and I'll take any of them. There's Tiffany Stratton, there's Jade, there's Bianca, there's Dakota. Let's not forget about Dakota, because arguably she's been the one leading Damage Control.
I think that is the step, is Dakota versus Bayley after this. Because that's what the feud's been, right? It's not like, yeah, sure, they're trying to elevate Io Sky and Bayley's feud, but like it's Dakota and Bayley and then Io and Bayley. You know what I mean? Like they're both feuding, but like it's not on the same level. The depth of Dakota and Bayley's friendship feels so much grander than Io and Bayley's. Now, maybe that's the language barrier potentially with it, but they've also tried to make it seem like Io and Bayley were connected right from the get-go when they showed those text messages from Bayley to Io. So there is definitely a story there, but I think the bigger story at play is Dakota Kai versus Bayley down the line. So yeah, I've got Bayley, you got Bayley, everybody in this world's got Bayley. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Let's hear it. You are on the Drew kick. You are on the Drew bandwagon. So what do you think's going down with this?
First off, don't forget, I am a diehard Seth Rollins fan. I love Seth Rollins. But I have said since late last year that Drew McIntyre is going to be the number 1 heel in WWE for all of 2024. And he has started hot. He is the hottest person in the business right now, next to The Rock. I will say that Drew McIntyre is putting on performances. He's doing outside work on social media to make this even worse. Like, honestly, he is the most likable asshole I have ever seen in my life. And I love it. Drew McIntyre walks out as world champion.
He's been killer. He's been so damn good lately. And Rollins, let's face it, he's distracted. That's been the story. He's not taking Drew seriously. And if you're not taking a big Scotsman seriously, what the hell are you doing? Like, he's about to cave your skull in. I've never seen Drew McIntyre just like the look in his eyes. I think that's the biggest thing. It's something has just clicked with the way he is talking. And you're just like, oh my God, he could literally kill you at any given moment.
This is the Drew McIntyre we were getting going into WrestleMania right as he eliminated Brock Lesnar. Go back and watch the look Drew is giving Brock after he eliminates him, and then watch one of Drew's promos currently. Same guy,
man. And
same guy that deserves it.
And there's a reason why. There's a reason why he got to the mountaintop then at that point, and there's a reason why he's going to get to the mountaintop again. He is doing that good of stuff. He is on another level right now, and truthfully, Seth doesn't need the world title after Mania. He doesn't.
He's got time to go away.
Mm-hmm.
He's got time to go away and rest for a couple of months,
which he needs. Oh my God.
But maybe when Punk's ready, we do a double return. Punk returns, and then Seth returns right after and steals Punk's thunder like Punk stole Seth's thunder at Survivor Series because nobody told Seth that Punk was coming out.
Lock it in.
Until like 45 seconds before his music hit.
Yeah, lock it in.
There's your story.
There you go, Tesh.
And also anyone saying that, oh, Drew's only going to win because they announced Clash at the Castle in Scotland. Drew was already winning.
He was already. The story, it has to finish with Drew winning. And man, that thought process of Punk returning and then rolling out Seth Rollins afterwards. Do you remember when I want to say it was Undertaker returned? This is before WrestleMania one year. I can't remember which WrestleMania, but Undertaker returned and then right after Triple H
right away.
And they just stared each other down. WrestleMania sign in the background.
Amazing.
You could do something similar if you're building up SummerSlam, right? If you had CM Punk, Seth Rollins, maybe I don't know what's in the background. Maybe the way you angle it, you have the Titantron in the background and SummerSlam is on the Titantron. Could be really cool.
Also, I have one other thing to say, but I'm about to sneeze, so give me a second.
Bless is in the chat. Whoa.
It's not coming out.
bro, that did not sound like a sneeze. It looked like you, oh God. Hey, yo.
It's not coming out. Anyways, so back to what I was going to say. There's another dynamic at play here, and it is the Money in the Bank, Senior Money in the Bank, and Damian Priest cashing in.
All right.
Yes. Damian Priest will cash in this match.
In or after?
Either way.
Okay.
But again, I have been saying for the entire time we've been speaking, this is going to be the implosion of the Judgment Day at WrestleMania. I already picture it, them destroying the Judgment Day clubhouse the next night on Monday Night Raw because they're all pissed off.
Right. Yeah.
Damian Priest is going to cash in and he's going to fail. So
you heard it here
I'm
first.
just going to say it is a huge shout, but I'm saying again, WrestleMania 40 is the implosion of the entire Judgment Day. So Priest will not be successful on a cash in.
Obviously, with the predictions, I don't see that happening yet, but hey, like, you know what? As I'm lining up your predictions here and I'm looking at the progression of the card and I'm looking at after WrestleMania, there's directions that we can go. And I think that's where the brain has to be at WrestleMania. Like, where are we able to go with this from here? Like, if we have the story finish, where do we go? And you've lined some stuff up that, you know, we could get into in the future. I do think that Priest is going to try to cash in. However, I think it's not going to go through successfully. Like, not like he's going to fail to cash in. It's just not going to happen. Somehow, I don't know what. They love doing that. They love pushing it off. I've also heard people saying, and this is just a random thought, but like, what if Priest gets all the way to Money in the Bank again and has to defend his Money in the Bank contract in the Money in the Bank ladder match?
That would be cool.
Like, we've never seen that, right?
That would be really cool.
So
but the stipulation is you have 1 year
to cash in.
So
he's got to re-up the contract basically. And so he's got to re-win the Money in the Bank. He wouldn't be defending it. Yeah.
Exactly. I do have another question because there's a lot of storylines with this match and we're forgetting about the major one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the impact of CM Punk with this match?
Right. Yes, because he did say he was going to be on commentary for this one. And he's definitely going to get involved. I think he's just there for mind games more than anything.
Who does he hate more? Let's not go down like the CM Punk just being a neutral. Who does he hate more? Because Drew's been really getting at him with the social media posts, going down to Chicago, going to his restaurant there, the t-shirts, the promos, what was the funeral package that they had the other week, and then he's got Seth Rollins, who he has a decade rivalry with.
So who does he hate more?
Who does he hate more?
So you know what? I'm gonna say this, and this is the way that I get the vibe between Punk and Drew. And then Seth and Punk. Seth and Punk, it feels like that is where Punk's mind is, right? He's like, Seth, I got to deal with Seth. He said all this stuff about me for years. I got to deal with him. And then Drew is the social media troll who's trying to interject himself into anything Punk has going on. And Punk right now is just disregarding that. He's like, whatever. You do your trolling thing there, Drew. I don't care. I got bigger stuff going on over here. But when all of a sudden Drew wins the world title, Punk's mind is he wants to be world champion. And then all of a sudden, that's where we get the question, who does he actually hate more? Because he will have to drop his feud with Seth and focus on this feud with Drew. And then I think that's where we're going to really start finding out Punk can't stand Drew and that he's just been letting it roll off his back until Drew finally won the title. And he's like, now you have something I want. Now everything you said matters.
I think it's more of Drew wins the title and says, Drew comes out on Monday Night Raw and see, look, Punk, I took everything from you. I cost you WrestleMania.
That works too.
You know what I mean? I cost you WrestleMania. Now I have what you wanted from WrestleMania. Then that's where you spiral that out of control. But I do have one other thing on this match, because like I said, there are so many dynamics to this match. Go back to the promo from Monday Night Raw where Seth Rollins goes, I don't want to disappoint you guys, but that's his counting arm. And Punk goes 1, 2, 3. Instantly, the camera goes to Drew and he goes, new champion. Foreshadowing?
Could be. Absolutely could be. What a great little cut, by the way. Like, this is the production team WWE has right now. Not overusing camera cuts. We talked about that on our last video. Yeah, they're just upping the game all around and like little things like that. Did you notice the what was it? The 2-minute straight camera shot after commercial where they walk from the left side of the ring all the way across over to the right side, up the steps, around the edge. It was a 2-minute and some odd second straight camera shot without a single cut. You would never have seen that. Dude, we would go a minute with 500 camera cuts thanks to Kevin Dunn. It was wild back then, and now it's
almost like he had Tourette's on the cut fingers.
He's like,
you know?
now. It's like going past the point of protecting the business and just making it impossible to watch. I will never forget watching. I think it was Seth Rollins for sure hitting somebody over the back with a steel chair. Was it Drew? Did he? I can't remember who it was, but the cameraman going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, like. Oh, that was horrible to watch back then.
I don't remember that one, but like I do remember sometimes with Kevin Dunn in the late 2010s where it was just difficult to like keep your eyes focused on the show in general, because you're like, wait, what did I just miss? Can we go back to that? And they would cut ridiculously. It's almost like watching a hockey game and they're showing a replay and they start breaking down the ice to score another goal and they jump and they're like, whoa, bro, am I watching the replay still? And what am I watching?
Could you imagine if they cut every time a pass or a shot happened? Dude, because that's what we watched. Every time a slam or a punch or anything happened in WWE, there was a camera cut. So thank God we have the new production team, because they are just doing
we beat that
job.
One to death. We've got what? One or two more, right?
We got 3 more here. We got Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. This one is kind of difficult to pick. You gave me your spiel earlier. I'm going to give you mine right now. I think Rhea is doing incredible work. I think she is at the top of her game, and there is no reason to take the title off of her, in my opinion. Except for the fact that Becky Lynch hasn't held the title in 2 years, and she also has done incredible work, and she also deserves her flowers. I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say Rhea, but this is straight up a 50-50 match for me. It could literally go either way. There's feuds like you could develop after WrestleMania, whether it be with Liv Morgan, either against Rhea or against Becky, you could do. And there's just so much room to go with either champion. So I'm going to say Rhea Ripley, but it could be either.
I'm going on the complete opposite, and I was just thinking about something. I'm just going back over the Monday Night Raws as we've gone, and one of the biggest ones is when Rhea Ripley came out after Becky and Liv's match. And Liv, and I love what again, back to the production team. There was no microphone. It was just the camera audio. And all Liv said is, I'm going to take everything from you.
Mm-hmm.
So in turn, I'm going to say Becky wins with the Liv Morgan interference.
Interesting. That could very well
happen. And again, the downfall
of the Judgment Day.
Of Judgment Day.
Interesting. All right, dude. Now we're getting into our two main events here. Night one main event, Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth. There's two different ways you can look at this. One, this is to either set up the fairest fight possible for Cody Rhodes at night two, or it's to create the most chaotic possible matchup we possibly can. And chaos is always better than just bland. So if Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins are to lose, this is bloodline rules in night two. And I think most of the wrestling world feels the same way, that we are going to see Cody Rhodes lose at night one. That's my prediction. Cody Rhodes gets pinned night one of WrestleMania.
I said this to you earlier. Con, do you see The Rock returning in his first match and taking the pin?
Nope.
Do you see Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes really pinning the tribal chief outside of potentially winning the WWE championship?
No yeet.
No yeet. Night one will be Roman and Rock. Night two, we will have bloodline rules.
Bloodline rules. Now, let's start talking about these bloodline rules here. So there is I've been referencing this for the better part of 2 months now. When Mankind won the WWF championship, that pop that lasted for like 2 minutes straight. I think we are going to have something along those lines where there is everybody out there, right? You get all the baby faces that has ever been involved with Roman Reigns throughout the course of this. You bring in literally everybody. You bring in Jey Uso, you bring in Seth Rollins, you bring in LA Knight if you want. You can bring in freaking Rey Mysterio. You can bring in John Cena. You could bring in anybody that's on the good side of things just to fight Roman Reigns. And then on the other side, you have Roman, you have Rock, you have Jimmy, you have Solo, and maybe some other stuff is going to happen with that. I think we just get the most chaotic end possible, but God, man, there's a part of me that hopes that we literally replicate what happened with Mankind, where Cody Rhodes is Mankind, and the glass shatters. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes marching out, chair to the face of Rock, down goes Rock. Oh, sorry, down goes Roman. Got the wrong guy. Down goes Roman, and you get the dub for Cody. It's not going to happen, but oh my God, I would mark out for it. It would be so crazy cool. But yeah, I think this is Cody finishing his story. Either it's going to be the most chaotic end, or he's finally just going to get the clean pinfall, but Cody's finishing his story.
This match is going to be chaotic as all hell. It's going to be overbooked to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to watch this match back like 14 times to remember everything that happened. And that's God's honest truth. For someone who enjoys watching wrestling, I'm going to be exhausted watching this match. Now, there's one thing that people aren't talking about. Seth's distracted. Seth is more focused on ending Roman than focusing on the world title. Seth will drop the world title at the start of night one, or night two, sorry, to Drew McIntyre. That will open the show. I'm pretty sure they announced it, right?
Yeah, that's night two.
Yeah. So night two, match one, Seth loses. Seth gets pissed because Seth maybe takes an injury to the back on night one. And he's not 100% against Drew. Seth realizes Cody was the distraction. It wasn't CM Punk. It wasn't Drew McIntyre. It was Seth being distracted by helping Cody. So everyone's talking about how overbooked this is going to be. Yeah, Seth's got his back all right until he turns it and puts a steel chair into the back of Cody Rhodes, just like Seth did to Roman Reigns.
Interesting. And you think Seth then
So,
moves forward as the heel, eh?
well, I think a lot of the promos that Seth's been cutting, he's been very in between, more over on the heel side of things. But again, it's unfair for me to answer this match. So all I'm going to say, and still we will acknowledge our tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
There you go. I have Cody, you have Roman. So we got some difference of opinions here. So after WrestleMania, we're going to find out who had the right predictions, man. We'll find out if Cody's champ or if Roman is still on his never-ending run as WWE Universal Champion. And I will never...
Don't end it out yet. Don't end it out yet.
Him. I will never acknowledge him.
One more question.
All right.
I have one more question. What are our surprises, Con? I'll give you 3 surprises for all of WrestleMania. What are our surprises?
All right. Well, I definitely think Carlito's turning. I think that's one of the surprises.
Oh, no. Outside of the matches. Okay. What appearances do we get?
Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think we see him. I think we see him in some way, whether it's involved in the match or not. I don't know. I think we do see Austin. I've heard that they want to potentially redo like the Rock, Hogan, Austin thing with like Cena, Austin, and like maybe another legend in there. Could be really cool to kick off WrestleMania. So like, I think we see John Cena at the show as well. We've also seen him advertised on those the trucks. So I think we see John Cena and maybe Rikishi involved with the Usos match. I think Rikishi has a good chance of being there. Yeah.
Those are fair. And there could be more than 3, but I just said, let's get your top 3. I'm going to say John Cena for sure. I'm also going to go with Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
In some form of segment. And I'm going to go with a big shout out just because of who this person is and where we are for WrestleMania. Give me Jason Kelsey.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Give me
you have to at this point.
And give me Jason Kelsey.
You have to.
All day.
You have to. Like, come on, you have to. How can you not in Philly? There, that's it.
Give me Jason Kelsey to be the host of WrestleMania. Let's go.
Oh my God, that would be wild. That would be the craziest thing.
In his costume from his speech for when they won the Super Bowl, in the big, like, genie hat or whatever he had
I would even
on.
Just take shirtless, dude. If he was shirtless the entire night, I would be perfectly fine with that too. Be freaking hilarious.
I've got the segment.
Let's hear it.
I've got the segment.
All right.
Austin and Jason Kelsey beer bath. Hunter,
book it, Trips. Book it. That's it. We're leaving it there. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for watching this special edition of Straight Shoot. We appreciate your viewership, whether you be watching on YouTube or listening at another place. Spotify. Where else are we? We're on Spotify and
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all the major audio platforms. So, guys, do not forget to follow us. 5-star rating. If you can leave a comment, please do. We are going to be back on audio forever now, and I have loved seeing the engagement. You guys must like listening to us a lot more than you like watching us. It's probably because of my ugly mug, but yeah, definitely really appreciate you guys listening to us, and we go from there.
One sec though before we leave, okay, right at the very end here, people are saying Sami Zayn literally was just dropping that news. What did he tweet out? Was it anything big? It's a live comedy show. Okay. Good for Sammy. It's not wrestling related, so we waited
on
around.
Netflix.
Oh, on Netflix though. I guess maybe that is kind of wrestling related then.
Oh no, Netflix is a joke. Okay, no worries. Nobody cares.
Oh,
anyways.
All right, never mind. Not Netflix.
Thank you so much for listening to this version or this special edition of WrestleMania Straight Shoot podcast predictions. Hope you stuck around. I thought that was a great episode. Everybody in Con's chat, thank you so much for your engagement. I was reading all the comments, and I believe Con was as well. I look forward to posting this. This is going to be up today, which is I'm just gonna get the download from Con, and I'm not even gonna edit it. We're just gonna go
straight. We don't need edits. This was great conversation. Teshk, thank you so much, my man. I appreciate you being here, and each and every single one of you, thank you so very much for watching here today. Love you guys, and see you on another episode of Straight Shoot. Be good people.